It's no better feeling than hearing a coach that you believe in, that you're ready to ride with, that has some substance, that gives you hope, that lights that fire. That's how I feel right now with DeMeco Ryans, and it's been a long, long time since I felt this way. Let's go inside the locker room, sit crisscross applesauce. Let's listen to DeMeco Ryans address the media types, and let's react as well. Subscribe, like, all that type of stuff. Let's go inside the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room.
Bill O'Brien press conferences, David Culley press conferences, Lovie Smith press conferences. They all sucked in many different ways. Bill O'Brien was the blowhard. He was the king. He was combative. He had a misleading resume with a gray area that was often ignored. David Culley was in over his head. It was almost cringeworthy. And Lovie Smith, let's be honest, it was unfortunate that the Texans put themselves in position to where they had to hire Lovie Smith. I don't say all that to crap on all those guys. I say that because DeMeco Ryans is none of that. DeMeco Ryans has high upside. DeMeco Ryans has sweat equity in the city. And DeMeco Ryans was a guy that everyone else that needed a coach this offseason was interested in adding to their squad. And it's easy to understand why the more you hear DeMeco speak. I've made it very clear. I am ride or die with DeMeco. Ride or die, for better or worse. Whatever happens, I'm ready to see this thing out. You could kind of feel that the honeymoon phase is over, and there's a little bit more intensity even at a mini camp from DeMeco Ryans. He sounds like not only does he sound like a head coach, he sounds like the head coach. Let's hear from DeMeco Ryans and just react together as DeMeco Ryans addresses the media as team activities have begun. And he had most of his team there, not all of it. A few missing guys, which we'll hear him speak about. But let's hear from the head coach of the Texans here inside the locker room.
Going well. He's progressing right along, working well, getting stronger day by day. So I encourage where Kenyon is. Yeah, Mechie is doing great. Mechie is working on his goal for him is training camp and to get him back to football, and we're right on the correct path with him.
DeMeco, Jadeveon Clowney said he wouldn't mind coming back here. Do you guys have any interest in Clowney?
John, we'll always look at any players that can help us win, and so we'll explore all options. So I'll never throw anyone off the table. So everything is always an option for me.
So you had him address Kenyon Green, who was not there. We'll see what happens with Kenyon Green. I can't really get that picture of him at that car dealership out of my head. I don't know what to make of that. If you missed that, yesterday I had Brooks Cabina live of the Houston Chronicle, and we had some fun with that. So go back and check out that video. He talked about Mechie. Mechie's trying to find his groove. Don't know what Mechie's role is, what the expectations are for him. I would kind of channel him a little bit. People maybe expecting Mechie to come lead this team in receiving immediately. Let's tap the brakes there. And the Jadeveon Clowney thing was interesting. DeMeco will not dismiss the Jadeveon Clowney possibility. And I don't expect him to, but it really didn't give us much there. Here's more from DeMeco Ryans as we sit crisscross applesauce and listen to the face of the franchise.
How was it with the rookies mixing in with the veterans?
The rookies have come along well, right? Guys are flying around. Guys are, they have a lot of learning to do, but they picked up on it very well. They're improving each day, and that's all I ask of them. Just take one step every day, one step better, and those guys they're doing it. So I'm encouraged with all of our rookies. They seem to fit right in.
What do you think of the numbers of people? What do you think of the participation numbers of players who are here for OTAs?
Yeah, for it to be voluntary, I think we have a really good group who's participating. We have a lot of guys out, a lot of guys who, this time period here, it's about how can I improve as a player. And the guys that are here, they are honing their craft. They're getting better. And it's all about setting yourself up to be able to compete to make the team in training camp. So the guys are doing that, and I feel like the guys that are here are going to be in great shape to help us out in the fall.
How is Bobby Slower and Gerard Johnson approaches teaching CJ the offense?
Yeah, they approach it just like everyone else, right? They take their time. Each player, right, no matter who you are, quarterback, linebacker, each player in a position group room learns differently. So as a coach, you take your time to get to know that player, and you get to know how that player learns best, and that's how you go about teaching them.
Yeah, so pretty generic stuff so far. Little coaches speak. It's about to intensify a little bit, but can you feel kind of like compared to the introductory press conference, even compared to before the draft and maybe even after the draft, there's a little bit more intensity? Like, look at that face right there. That face right there. My man is cranking it up a notch. You can tell that he just, you know how after you get done, whether it's running, whether it's a test, hell, a radio show for me. If you see me after the show, 4 hours after the show, you kind of have that, man, healthy exhaustion. You can tell my man is not taking it lightly when he's out there. You can kind of see that intensity. Here's more from DeMeco Ryans.
Your conversations with CJ Stroud since he's been here, has there been anything that either impressed you or surprised you or anything he said that just really stuck out to you?
CJ's been the same from the pre-draft process to now. Hard worker, very intelligent guy. He's a true competitor. So he's been the exact same guy. Nothing has changed. It's excited to see him out on the field working with his teammates. CJ has been doing an excellent job these past couple of days.
Since CJ was what's kind of the process towards getting him to start line? The quarterback competition is early. What's kind of that process in terms of
the process with all our players is to come out and improve and get better each day. When the fall comes, that's when we'll talk about starters and who are the best 11 men to go out there to help us win games.
Yo, he ain't biting that bullet, DJ. Nice job throwing it out there, though.
What about the other defensive end slot? What do you see at that position?
I'm looking for, like, again, not just deep, it's every position for us, right? I'm looking for guys who want to compete, guys who want to help us win, right? Defensive line, we want guys who are explosive, guys who are physical, guys who can set the edge, guys who can get after the quarterback. That's what we're looking for. It's not either side. It doesn't matter which side you play on. That's what we're looking for out of all of our defensive ends.
So with two young players at wide receiver, what does a guy like Robert Woods step the confidence but also get them on starts?
And for Robert, I think he just helps guys when you're a player and you have those questions that a coach may not be able to get to you right now, get that answer to you as quick as possible. Robert is that guy players can go laying on. Ask Robert. Robert has played in this offensive system before. He knows it. Right? Knows it just as good as some of our coaches know it. So Robert is a guy that young players should try to lean on. Young players should try to pick his brain and just learn as much as they can from guys. And that's what veteran leadership is about in the NFL, right? If the real veterans in this league, they pass on knowledge, they pass on, information to the younger guys, and those younger guys continue that as they continue to grow throughout the league. And that's why we're here. We stand on the backs of the guys who came before us in this league and allowed us to be in this position.
And I think Robert Woods is interesting because I think the Robert Woods angle is interesting because this is a new system. He's been in the system. You've had Davis Mills in the system, but Robert is going to be one of those guys who's going to mentor the younger guys. And he's kind of going to be a resource for these guys because he's going to know what Bobby Slowick wants. Now, Bobby Slowick's not Sean McVay, so it's a different system. It's the same system, but it's different. You know what I mean? So you could say maybe it's a different system, depending on how you want to look at it. But Robert Woods is going to be one of those resources, much like Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward came from San Francisco with DeMeco. He's played in the defense, so he knows him. So the pickups of Robert Woods and Jimmy Ward are significant because a lot of the young guys, maybe some of the vets, the returning guys, are going to lean on those guys because they know what the coaching staff expects. And what makes it even better is it's actual leadership and culture guys with substance. It's guys who've had success. It's guys who've had a good display of football recently. It's not the Rex Burkhead. It's not the random guy that, is some sort of culture guy that's not necessarily playing good. These guys are going to be contributors and they're going to be resources on each side of the rock. Here's more from the head coach.
You like Keenum in that role, teaching both young guys, but especially Stroud.
Keenum has been outstanding, I think, for both Davis and CJ. Keenum has been awesome. Right? He's been great to have. Very smart player. Right? Knows it like the back of his hand. So it's really good for those guys to have, have Case similar to Robert, right? Two veteran guys who are very, very sharp guys and guys who are not just in a role to help out, but these guys are competing as well. So that's the cool part about having Case and Robert.
What about Corey Littleton have you seen so far on this group?
Everybody at linebacker position
Corey Littleton.
they've been working hard. Guys are improving every day.
Is there a player that you brought from the start of the groundwork that you guys are laying for next season? How do you feel this team can improve on the third down?
Here comes the money quote right here. Cody Davis with the question. This is the money quote right here. If you missed the video earlier today, here comes the money quote right here. This was like a I saw the light type of moment here.
I'm not aware of the third down struggles. I'm not really. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. With whatever happened here, it doesn't matter. We're starting brand new right now, and we'll create our own path. We'll set our own path. That's what it's about. It'll be about the 2023 Texans. Nothing that happened in the past right now, we're not concerned with that at all.
I believe him. All right, we'll skip that.
Really
We'll
great coaching with our offensive line, with Coach Schlosser and Coach Cole. Those guys have done an outstanding job of getting the guys ready to play, being honed in on the details. Our offensive line they've been impressive to watch over these few practices that we've had. It's been very impressive to watch and see how they've come along. So I'm very excited where they're going. I expect them to continue to improve and definitely be a strength for our offense.
Strength for the offense has to be. Offensive line has to be a strength, 100%. That's where your investment is. The credibility of Nick Caserio is on the line with that, and really the protection of your quarterback. You don't want a young quarterback broken, whether it is Stroud or Mills.
Those guys over the last week on defense, Byron Coward, Jake Mark. What do you think about those two additions and what they can bring to the team?
Just to be able to get out on the field, right? We spend a lot of time right in the classroom with these guys, trying to make sure they understand it, make sure they have it. And some guys do well in the classroom, some guys not so well, but it's all about how you perform when you're out on the field. And to see guys in that element, to see that they made a misstep or they made this mistake and they instantly are able to correct it. And when you see guys improve, that's what fires me up. So I'm excited to get out on the field because now we're getting closer to real football. Seeing guys in the true element, being able to compete out there on the field, it's been exciting. It's fun for me. And I'm trying to put our team in as many competitive situations as possible, offense against defense, just to see how our guys respond, right, to competitive football. And that's what it's going to be come in the fall, right? You got to line up, you got to compete, and who's going to step up and win. So it's been fun, a lot of fun for me to get out on the field.
We'll close with DJ Brooks. When you have a quarterback, from a teaching perspective, CJ, he didn't really play that much under center in college. You guys, based on what you see in San Francisco, Miami, New York, Green Bay, they do a lot of under center stuff. So what's that teaching process to getting the guy to be able to play under center so that he didn't do that much in college?
And for CJ, under center, it's a matter of just getting reps. It's nothing magical about it. It's just getting under center and doing it. CJ had reps under center in college. It's not foreign to him. He's done it before, and he's done a good job these past 2 days in practice of under center. We haven't had any issues with that. So CJ is doing a great job.
With Derek Stingley and Jalen Petrie, just taking them into your defense, you guys led the NFL with interceptions last year. Where do they fit into what y'all are trying to teach them right now? What is your overall goal with that group?
At Petrie and Stingley, those guys fit any defense because they're both playmakers. They're instinctive, they're fast, they're physical, and they love playing football, and they like to play with their hair on fire. So any defense we play, anything I call, those guys are make it work because they are such great players, and they love playing the game.
You can see him kind of light up when he talks about Stingley and Petrie. That's high upside right there. The second year guys, you got to feel good about that, especially in the DeMeco Ryans system. Also, DJ Bieneme, another good question from him asking about CJ Stroud lining up under center. Going to be something new for him, but it's something that he's probably going to pick up relatively easy, and we'll see what happens. But it's good to hear from the head coach. A lot of good stuff. I love that money quote, and I love the way he kind of lights up when he talks about Petrie, Stingley, all that. More intense DeMeco Ryans. Fun times. Subscribe, like, ride along on the Odyssey app. Locker Room, #1 source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. Appreciate all of you for coming through. No matter what happens when it comes to this Texans game, we are all in this together. Have a good one.
Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, Locker Room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about.